this computer. Okay, and we are recording. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Senior Coach and Beyond Boot Camp. Today is day one. We're going to run this for 6 weeks. And so for the next 6 Saturdays at 7 a.m., it'll be the same Zoom room. And so we want to start from the beginning. It's always good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see it. Let's minimize this. And let's see here if I can get that to come up. Okay. Okay, so Senior Coach and Beyond, 6-week boot camp. Like I said, it starts today, Saturday, November 16th. It's going to run for the following 5 weeks. And we're going to kind of start from the beginning. We want to give you guys the basic steps on how to get this thing going. And so we want to do a little bit of house cleaning this morning as we get going. So I'm excited to have the beautiful Sarah Chin co-hosting with me. This is her first boot camp. So she's amazing, and I'm excited to hear her share this morning. So first thing, couple of things. So if you want to build this business, kudos to all of you for being on here at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning. That's awesome. Give yourself a little pat on the back for getting up early and making this a priority. Because the bottom line is there's plenty of time to do this business as long as you make it a priority. And so one of the ways to make this business a priority is to have rocks in your calendar. One rock in your calendar should be boot camps. 7 a.m. Saturday mornings are when we usually do them. We did it at 6 a.m. Last month because of a conflict with another one that we wanted people to be able to be in. So, but normally they're at 7 a.m. on Saturday mornings. You want to put that in your calendar. Put down the Zoom number. It's going to be the same Zoom number each week, 909-377-3912. And the other rocks in your calendar that must not miss events are some of these. A lot of times I'll have people go, hey, what's the Zoom number for this? Or what's the Zoom number for that? Well, what time is that? Well, guess what? All of you are in Growing the Coach. That is our coaching support group. Guess what the cover photo is in Growing the Senior Coach? It's this. So here you are. You have Leadership Call with Dr. A. Here's the leader, co-founder, the creator of this whole incredible opportunity that we're all part of, and this incredible program. He comes on every Monday night. He came on when he was in Italy traveling because it's a priority for him. So he comes on every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and talks on different topics, different things that are going on with the company. He brings on top leaders and they discuss different things. And it's just great to hear Dr. A's heart and voice for this mission that we're all on. And that's every Monday night, 5 o'clock. Mark it in your calendar. Then right after that, following that call, is equipping you for success. You're going to have top leaders in this organization, integrated presidents and directors almost every single time. They're going to talk to you about different trainings and different topics and different tips on how they've been successful in building this business. And those are for coaches. Okay. Then on Wednesdays, let's not forget, yes, we're all coaches, but guess what? Most of us are all clients too. So on Wednesday nights at 5:30, they do the Habits of Health webinar. And again, it's just a Zoom where you call in, you can dial in, listen in. They've been going over through all the different elements. I think they're going to be on element 14 this next week. And then afterwards, they do an amazing trilogy presentation where they have somebody come on and share their transformational story. So literally, guys, this is 2 hours out of your week. And I don't know how many times I've had people go, well, I can't because of this. You know what? That just means it's not a priority. It's not that you can't. You're just making a decision not to. Understand, people work, different things. So there are playbacks on all these, but it's always better if you can be on them live and share that experience with everybody else. Then, super excited about this next thing. Wait, let me see if I have the cleanup first. Okay, so just want to touch base on this. As you start as a new coach, you're going to get this welcome email. You should get one from Optavia, and you should get one from your coach. Okay, and it's got a link on there. Click here if you're not a healthcare professional. That's where you're going to click, and you're going to go in, and there's going to be 3 action steps to take. One of them is creating a list. Another one is your whys and your goals. And so we want to make sure that you're clear on why you're doing this and the why behind this. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about is your story and your why today. That's really the main part of this. And then if you go over to Coach Answers and go into the Learning Center, you can see there's a new Coach Basic Training Program. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of interactive training and really gives you the basics on how to do this. If you haven't done this, I would highly suggest you go in and do the basic coach training. It's right on coachanswers.optavia.com. Click in the Learning Center and then click on Coach Basic Training. And you'll log in, you'll create an ID, and you can do it. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do a little bit of it, come back to it, but it's really informative. So then this next part, I'm super excited about. Hopefully all of you guys on this call have heard about this and are ready for this and are getting in action to take advantage of this. Because in Doug Wood, one of our top leaders, integrated presidential director with Optavia, said, he just posted the other day, in 10 years as a coach, he's never seen a better incentive, a more lucrative incentive than this one here. And that's called the December Dash. And what's exciting is they actually did it earlier. Normally they do it in December. But this time they did it a little bit earlier, starting in November, so you could have that money for Christmas because they're going to pay out these bonuses right away. And so I just wanted to touch base on it. How this works is if you bring on 3 new clients, and this started on Monday, November 11th, and it's going to run through December. If you bring on 3 new clients, you'll be entered into a drawing for $1,000. Okay? And then if you bring on 5 new clients before December 8th, not only will you get your normal commission, they're going to pay you a bonus of $250. And in addition, you'll receive $5,000 towards your trip qualification. If you're not clear on that, get with your mentor coach what that means. I don't want to go too much into that, but we'll give you an extra, another $250 for a total of $500 in bonus money. Then if you bring on 15 clients, you get an additional $500. So now you've gotten $1,000 in bonus money. Another 5 clients or 20 clients will give you an additional $750 for a total of $1,750. 25 clients will get another $1,000. $2,750 in bonus money. At that point, you're going to be an executive director, 31% if you're certified. So you can get another $2,700 in commission. So you're up about $5,200 in the next 30 days through that. But that's not it. They even sweeten the pot. I've never seen them do this. But if you help your coaches, for those of you that have coaches on your team, if you help one of your coaches get 5 new clients, guess what? That coach is going to get their $250 for the 5. But the company's also going to pay you an additional $150. If you have 5 coaches on your team and you help all 5 coaches get 5 new clients, guess what? Another $2,750 plus the commission you're going to get off that. You're looking at almost $9,000 that you can make in the next 30 days. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And you can be a brand new coach and make that if you got busy. So just wanted to kind of go over that. If you're confused with any of it, just get with your mentor coaches. But really want to get into the main point of today, and that's, sharing our story and talking about our story and the power of our stories, because stories have power. You can see here on the screen, there's 3 different stories. You've got Alyssa Harrison, amazing woman, total warrior princess, battled with her health for her entire life. She's like 28, 29 years old, and she's had all kinds of health issues. She had to gain weight on program. She put on 17 pounds, and she constantly battles that. She's still, to this day, having to contend for her health. And this program gave her that. You can see the difference how healthy she looks in that second picture. Then I love James. I share his story all the time because James thought, I'm killing it in the gym. I look fantastic. I don't need this program. He just wanted to be a coach. And look at what he did. Look what happened. He did the program, stayed out of the gym for 30 days, lost 20 pounds, went down to 9% and got shredded. And then over on the right side there is Monica. Monica lost, 150, 160 pounds on this program. She's done amazing, had an amazing transformation. So, all these different stories can relate to someone because there's power in our stories. And, never discount the power of your story. So I just want to share a little bit about my story. Here's my before and afters, hanging out with my coach, Joy, my little wife, and Dr. A, hiking in Utah a couple of years ago. Or actually 1 year ago, that was 1 year ago, just came up. My sugar shot, love that, 72 pounds in sugar. And the family, that's my why, hanging out with my dad on the golf course. I look at that picture, I can't even believe the difference. And then, of course, my original before and after. it's so funny. People see that and they, you know, kids see that and they go, no, you look like you're wearing like a fat suit for like, you know, the Nutty Professor or something. It was just pretty crazy to think that that was me. And then those shorts, look at those shorts. They actually used to fit me. That's crazy. So stories have power, you know, like when you share with your kids, you know, read books to your kids and those stories that start once upon a time and you know, they always want to hear them again and again and again because they relate to parts of the story and it brings up this connection and binds us together. And, you know, the spoken word has power. So embrace your story. You know, I put this picture out there all the time. Most of you know I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I got 21 years of sobriety. I put that out there because I want people to know that you can overcome those kinds of challenges. And that spoken word has power. So, you know, most of us are holding back and we're not sharing parts of our story because we're embarrassed or we don't want to look bad or we don't want to worry about what this person's going to think of us. And so like when we post stuff on social media, we do these carefully staged selfies, filtered pictures, and they only paint part of a picture. It's like a movie trailer. You don't get the whole story. You're just getting little bits and pieces. And so it's really important to actually share all of your experiences because all those things that you went through are what led you to be the person today. I know some of you may have heard a song by Mercy Me. It's called Dear Younger Me. And he talks about, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, would I stop you from some of the pain and stuff you're going to go through? Because those things are the things that made me the man I am today. So I wouldn't really want to take those away. We have amazing adventures, disastrous decisions that made us who we are today. And so all of your sharing it, if you're keeping yourself because you feel it's relevant or interesting, you know, don't do that, because when you share your story, you make a connection and you know, don't dismiss your past and the power of it, because by trying to fit in, you lose your identity and your uniqueness. All right. So share things about yourself to help you connect with your audience. As you're listening to them and learning about them, you can share your experience that relates to their personal story, and it makes that connection. It requires an act of vulnerability, you know, allowing yourself to be seen. But with vulnerability comes a lot of power, and our stories have power. So share part of your story at every opportunity, because it'll make the world a more connected place. When we share our stories, we give voice to it. We allow it to respond and resonate in the hearts and minds of the people we share it with. And once it's shared, it has power and it carries momentum. So my story is I was super unhealthy. I was 5'6", well, I am 5'6", and I was almost 230 pounds. Cholesterol through the roof, couldn't sleep, had no energy. I'm a great dad. I mean, the sun rises and sets with my little girls. That's my why. That's why I do everything I do. And I realized it wasn't the best version of myself that I could be, so I wasn't the best dad I could be. Like I said, I was tired all the time. I get tired, I get grumpy, you know, so they would get me grumpy souvenirs every time they go to Disneyland. And, you know, everybody would laugh and say it's cute, but deep down it hurt to know that that was their experience with me. So I knew that I needed to make a change. So when my coach reached out to me, I was all in. And probably the most exciting thing she said to me was, Donald, not only am I going to help you lose the weight, but I'm going to help you keep it off. And that was exciting because I'd lost weight in the past and I'd always put it back on. And so I did this program. Amazing for me. I lost 19 pounds in 19 days, 24 in my first month, and over 75 pounds in 4.5 months. I've been able to maintain my weight and my health for the last 2 years now, and it's been incredible. I became a coach because my mother and my wife wanted to do the program, and it just made sense. Like, really? Are they going to call my coach? No, of course not. They were just going to ask me everything anyways. So I became a coach just to help them. Never really thought I'd do much with it. But before I knew it, everybody wanted to know what I did. I started helping more and more people. And the exciting news is I started my health coaching business the Monday after Thanksgiving. So, and guess what? I brought on like 25 people in the month of December. So don't tell me, don't make the excuse, oh, people don't want to get healthy through the holidays. I got healthy through the holidays, and I helped a lot of people do it too. So, you know, get busy with this thing. Go out there and share your story with everybody that you can. And you know, let's go wake up the world. Let's make a difference in the world. So I want to bring on my co-host, Sarah Chin. Like I said, she's an amazing woman. She's got a powerful story too. You know, she's connected authentically with a lot of people, and she's impacted a lot of lives. So Sarah, you should be able to unmute yourself. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, well, take it over. Let's hear your story.
Hey, everybody. So this is me, all these pictures, different variations. I had to explain to Dawn in that one picture down there with the 3 and in the middle I'm pregnant. Pregnancy wasn't my favorite space of life, so wasn't so happy. Someone said, you should post pictures. So that's my obligatory, here's my horrible pregnancy picture. Anyway, just to share part of my story is I've always been heavier, like my whole life. I was a bigger person really, and weight was always a struggle for me. And a few years back, my daughter got sick, and so we went into some really deep study as to how nutrition affects your body and what's the proper way to be eating and feeding yourself to be healthy. And what I learned and how to implement that in a reasonable way with my crazy busy schedule and life and things, just I couldn't make the pieces fit. So when I in February, when I found and heard more about this program, my coach Kelly had said she posts these cool pictures, and it was really neat to see the different, people's, transformations and what had gone on for them. And I gave her a call, and I was probably one of the most challenging sort of starting conversations for someone. You've probably worked with different people who are just like, they're a little bit challenging and you feel challenged by them in the conversation. I was basically like, look, I know me, and I know what works and I know what doesn't work for me. So whatever little program you've got going, I don't want you to sell me something, but I do want you to tell me about it. And I said, and if you're telling me I can't ever have chocolate again, or I can't have coffee, I'm out. I'm already out. Like, cause I know me. And those are like some of my things. And so she was super patient with me, and just to say, hey, no problem. Let's have a conversation. And so, basically she told me most days I have coffee, and I started the day with a brownie. So I was in, I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation. But, after 1 week on program, not being able to get weight off for anything beforehand, the first week I dropped 5 pounds, and it was like, what is going on? What? And it was so easy for me. It was so simple. I felt like I was cheating the system. So it was 5 pounds the first week. By 3.5 months, I had dropped 45 pounds. And that was basically my goal, like where I was shooting for. And I could not believe it. And I signed up to coach because it's my natural personality to just bring people along with me. And I wanted to share this with people because it was so mind-blowing for me that it worked so well. And it was so easy. Like, I could still have my coffee and I could still have my chocolate. But the value of recognizing, like, that's my story, and each of us have our own. Dawn's isn't like mine. There's tons of stories out there, but we don't keep going over these stories just because we can. The fact is, your story, whatever it is, however it's processed and looks, it's powerful. And that's what people will connect with. They connect with human to human interaction and personalities. So while Dawn's story isn't mine, and there's lots of different stories, people will connect to those, like one will land. So if someone's coming to you and they're wanting to lose a ton of weight and you only lost 10 pounds, they might not connect with your story quite as much. But if you have an idea of some of these different people's stories, you can share those. Well, I know this person who lost, 100 and, whatever pounds their first year. Like, my other coach friend, Jose, I've shared his story multiple times because he lost, I think it was over 200 pounds his first year. And so he's just killing it. And, so the story is what lets people know what's possible. And so there's sometimes an internal conversation in our heads to downplay our story or what's going on for us. But it's unnecessary, because the reality is, it's just true for us. That's our reality, and it's very powerful and moving. But I want to encourage you to not downplay it, like stifle that sound that would say, oh, this isn't going to matter to them, or it's not this, so it's less than. It's not true. Like, who we are and our story is perfect. And the reason we go over so many of these stories is so that we can share it. And we want to be making a difference for other people like it made for us. That's what we talk about, paying this forward and wanting to engage this for other people, because it makes such a difference. It really is, in some instances, life-saving. Like, it's not just about losing some weight. So many more things change out of this process. Energy goes up. Clarity of thought comes back. There's just there's a plethora of things we gain from this process, even if you start looking at the mental shifts that we get to make. So I just want to encourage you, like, there's so much more than just weight or the reading of the scale in this process. Is so much bigger. It's so much grander. And it's our job as coaches to help people recognize that reality. Like the fact of how they could be, I've talked to a lot of people who have said, oh, I just need to lose a little weight. They don't even put a number to it. They're just, oh, a little weight. But what they're talking about is like 50 or 75 pounds. They don't even want to admit that to themselves. And so it's recognizing and helping them to see what they want out of life and what they desire to have moving forward, what they want their life to look like.
Yeah, so we want to talk a little bit about what is your why and why you did this program, why you started coaching. And it's important to always keep that at the forefront, because when this gets tough and when you have some disappointments, you bring on a couple of clients and then the next month your person cancels their premier order. You're like, oh no, what happened? We want to remember our why. So what is your why? It's important to have it written down. It's important to share it with your mentor coaches, because when things get tough, we're going to remind you about why you're doing this. I mean, you may be doing this because, you're sick and tired of your career, whatever you're doing. You may be doing this because you want more for your family. You may be doing this because you really have a heart to help people. Whatever your why is, it's really important to stay in touch with that. And the same thing with the program. You did this program for a reason. Why did you buy that first kit? What was it that you were struggling with in your life that made you make that decision that you wanted something different? Okay? Because like Sarah said, and I said in our stories, you can see there's so much power to make huge changes in your life. And, we always have to remember, we don't ever want to give up what we want most for what we want now. And so as you're doing this, as you're coaching this program, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be disappointments. There's going to be times where you're going to question what you're doing. People are going to say things about you. People are going to judge you. And it's okay, as long as you remember your why and why you're doing this and realize how much you can impact someone else's life. That was the thing. For those of you, a lot of us were just at the summit in Phoenix this last weekend, and it was amazing and incredible. And you just really saw the power of how this program can impact a life. So always remember your why and why you're doing this. Now, the other part of our job as coaches is to awaken that why in other people. And we call that awakening the intrinsic motivation. How to motivate yourself from within and achieve the goals that you want. But even more importantly as coaches is learning how to awaken the intrinsic motivation in someone else and bringing that out. Like Sarah referenced a little bit ago, awakening that in someone else. When you talk to someone and they're, like 75 or 80 pounds overweight, and they say, well, if I could just lose 20 pounds, that would be awesome. We want to awaken the potential in people and realize what that would represent, that 20 pounds, or what 80 pounds would look like for them, what life would look like for them, and help them to start dreaming from the very beginning. So Sarah did a training on this a while back with our team and was amazing at it. So I want to bring her back on and let her talk about what it takes to awaken the intrinsic motivation in others.
Sure. So this picture, I don't know how clear it is for you guys, but it's beautiful. And the blossoms on those trees are brilliant. And this a really bright picture like this really reminds me of what we're helping people to do. So like I was describing earlier, some people, they simplify things because they don't want to admit to themselves what's going on or what they really want. Maybe because it's too hard to imagine or even too painful, like to admit to themselves what life could look like if they made changes, because they think it's impossible. They think it's just too hard. They've tried it before. It didn't work. So what we need to recognize as coaches, firstly, is it starts with us. It starts with our story and our mindset. It's recognizing, who do we want to become through this process? Who do we want to become? It's not just what we do, although, we are doers as people. We do a lot of awesome things, but we're human beings. It's who we're choosing to be first. So who do you and I want to become through this process for the sake of others? Because we need to do that for our potential clients and coaches. Who do they want to be? How do they want life to show up? What does it actually mean for their knees to not be aching when they play with their kids, or to be able to sit on the ground to play with their kids and be able to get back up. That's not a small thing. That's ginormous. For me, I was watching little kids through the week when I started program, and I'd come home and put my little guy down for a nap, and I would be completely exhausted. So I would take a nap too. And after only 1 week on the program, that was no longer the case. I come put my guy down and I still had energy, not like crazy buzzy energy, but just stamina that wasn't there before. So I could actually do housework. My husband was happy. Like I could get my laundry caught up. I had energy and ability to keep going. That wasn't there before. And that's a big deal. You're going to be helping people to connect to not just the words they're saying, but actually imagine what life could look like if they shift gears. You're essentially helping them to dream in color. People talk about when they dream, all of us dream, whether we remember it or not. Some people don't dream in color. And so just think about it, like way back before there was no color on TVs. And when they brought color, it was like mind blowing for people. They like all of a sudden could see in color. That's what you're helping them to do, is actually dream in color for what they want their life to look like. And see it to its full capacity, because that's what they need to connect with. Your story is important in helping them to understand the full possibilities of what's available for them. That's what's actually life-changing. But until they can grab at it, until they can see it for themselves, it's just a nice idea. And they've got lots of nice ideas. We all do. But if we can actually hold it in our minds, if we can actually feel what that would be like, if you can bring it to a feeling than just a nice idea, that's when they're able to grab a hold of it. And that's, again, why we go over all these stories, because someone else's story might land for someone a little better. So if someone isn't necessarily going to land for yours, you could pull someone else's out so that they can grasp the emotion behind what that would mean for their life to actually be in color, for things to become alive, for real possibilities of what they want life to look like. That's what you're painting for them. You're bringing those possibilities to life by actually fleshing it out. What would I've asked people, what would it be like for your, I invite them in my health assessments. I say, just dream with me for a minute. What would it look like if tomorrow morning you woke up and you're 45 pounds lighter? What would it be like for your husband or your wife? What would it mean for you in your mindset to be with your kids in that way? How would it change if you were at work? How would you feel about your in your own skin? How would that change things for you? Like, actually connect the details you've actually gone through with them that they've shared with you in their assessment. Help them to land how life would actually be different. Now, you're not giving them promises of exactly what it's going to look like necessarily, but it's starting to actually choose to hold on to the hope of what could be instead of continuing to settle for what's been. That's really easy. When we can do it, we do it as people, but this program actually provides space for us to become new, become our best versions, mentally, physically, emotionally, like so much on so many levels. And we get to help usher them into that space.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to stop sharing here. So the other thing is, I think one of the key aspects of helping awaken intrinsic motivation is we start to talk about the what ifs. What if? What if this? What if that? As we start to go through that health assessment, we talk to people about what their goals are, some of the struggles that they're having. We talked to a lot of people that are on medications. They're on cholesterol medication, blood pressure medication, they have acid reflux, they have rheumatoid arthritis, different autoimmune diseases, diabetes. And start to say, well, what if? Because obviously we don't make any medical claims, but look, I did this program, and in 2 months, my cholesterol went from 336 to 136, and my triglycerides went from 440 to 75 with no medication. So it completely reversed my high cholesterol. And I've watched so many people get off of insulin and CPAP machines. And people don't realize that, because when they call us, they just want to lose some weight. They're calling us because they want to go on a diet. And they don't realize what's available to them. And so we have to start to waken it up. Well, what if you did this, and that insulin that you've been on for the last 10 years, what if you were able to get off of that? What if the pain in your knees, what if the pain in your shoulder, What if the pain that you're experiencing from rheumatoid arthritis started to diminish and it wasn't as strong? What if that fibromyalgia that you're suffering from got better and the flare-ups weren't nearly as often, and when they weren't nearly as bad? What if that happened? We're not guaranteeing that, but look, you guys know we have predictable transformations. Look, if you do this program, it'll work. And so we have to start to change people's perspective of what it is they're doing. And that's how we awaken that intrinsic motivation. We hopefully start to change their perspective. I'll share a little story that one of our top leaders always shares, because what her and her husband created with this program, and they're 7-figure earners, they're amazing people, they've helped thousands and thousands of people do this. But what she at one point decided is that they were going to build a cathedral. That's what this program was going to do for them. They were going to build this cathedral. And when you go and you look at a cathedral, when it starts, you've got the people that are laying the bricks, the bricklayers. And she went out and you go talk to 3 different bricklayers and ask them, ask someone, what are you doing? He said, I'm laying bricks. That was his perspective, what he was doing. He was laying bricks. And then she went to another one. He said, well, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm building a wall, because he's building a wall of bricks. And then she went to the third one and she said, what are you doing? He said, I'm building a cathedral. So they were all doing the same thing. They were all laying bricks, but they all had a different perspective of what that was going to end up being, what they were going to build with that. And so as we start to focus on our health and our health journey, we start to realize different things that are available to us. We start to realize what's possible, things we didn't even think were possible. I love doing the celebration calls and checking in. Like one of my coaches, his big non-scale victory was his wife's non-scale victory, because a week into the program, he stopped snoring. Huge non-scale victory. When we did his health assessment, that was not one of his goals. He just wanted to lose that gut. He didn't even think about the possibility he could stop snoring. So huge non-scale victory for his wife there. And there's all kinds of stuff that started to happen. Somebody just sent me a picture of their belt that they just had, like the end of their belt that they cut off, you know? And that's exciting. And the possibilities are endless when it comes to our health and what we can do to focus on our health and the things that start to change in our lives. It's just amazing. I mean, I had no idea what was available to me and what was about to change in my life and how my life was about to transform because I lost some weight. It was amazing. You know, I started walking like a few weeks into my journey, and I never walked before. The only reason I started walking was because my buddy had a heart attack, and his doctor said, hey, I need you to go out and at least start walking. And he called me and said, hey, would you walk with me? And I thought to myself, that's stupid. You just go out and walk places. I didn't get it. It wasn't my deal. And so, but I started doing it with him. We had these amazing talks and everything as we'd walk every day. And then eventually, you know, I became a coach, and they said, well, you know, if you want to impact more lives, you should do some Facebook Lives. And so I was walking one day and I'm like, hey, I think I'm gonna go on Facebook Live and just share what we've been talking about. It was pretty cool. And I did it. And I started doing that. And a few weeks later, I came home and my cousin said, hey, I really liked your walk talk today. Hey, that's kind of cool. Walk talk. So I started hashtagging it walk talks. And, you know, I go out pretty much every day, 7 days a week. And I've done that for the last year and a half. And I go out and I walk this trail by my house, and I do these walk talks. And you saw on my pictures, the group of people that was with us, that was up in Utah. And we walked up to the top of the mountain. It was amazing. There was people that had these incredible experiences that day. And we started to awaken stuff inside of them and possibilities. You know, Robert, RJ, who's on this call, when we were in Phoenix, we went up this mountain called Camelback Mountain. And it's a pretty famous mountain. And it's a pretty intense hike. And so, you know, 61 years old, he hadn't done a lot of hiking because he's down 65 pounds now. He wasn't doing a lot of hiking 65 years ago. And, you know, he went up to the top of this mountain. And it was awesome to see that potential and that possibility awakening him. Because now, you know, as we start to have these little victories like that, it starts to awaken all kinds of possibilities. As we start to go and awaken different things in people, all kinds of things start to become possible. And then we turn that around and we start coaching. And everybody that bought that coaching kit, everybody that's on this call today, bought that coaching kit for a reason. And I guarantee nobody bought it thinking they were going to fail. Okay, we all bought it for a reason. We all had a strong why we wanted to do this. Okay, and we can't let the little things stop us from achieving big opportunities. You have a huge opportunity. That person I was talking about, that top leader, that 7-figure earner that built the cathedral, guess what? She bought the same $199 coaching kit that you bought. Nothing different. And they were struggling when they bought it. She was an admin working outside the home. They had 3 young kids. Her husband was a sheriff working tons of overtime to try and make ends meet. They weren't hanging out together. They weren't doing things together. And they all of a sudden they started putting one brick after another down, and they built this huge cathedral. And that's possible for you guys too. And so as we start to do this and bring people into this opportunity, we got to awaken the intrinsic motivation in them and help them to realize, there's people today in this business that make in a month what they used to make in a year. And when you say that to people, you go, yeah, whatever, that's not possible. But it is. And you have to take that inside of people. And as they start to build this business, they start to see what's possible. And you have to awaken the intrinsic motivation. But behind all that dollar, guess what? It's people getting healthy, people changing lives, people's lives being impacted in incredible ways. And so we want to continue to awaken that intrinsic motivation in our clients, in our coaches, and in ourselves. And we can never forget what's possible. And what if you went all in? What if we just, a lot of us sometimes, we hear about the 3x3x3, and we do this checking the box. Yes, I posted 3 times a day. Yes, I started 3 conversations today. Yes, I added 3 friends today. Woo, good, I'm done. Well, that's just going through the motions. What if you just weren't just going through the motions? What if you went all in? What if you gave it everything you had, and you awoken a passion in you that you probably had when you bought that coaching kit and when you first started this journey? And if you can keep that passion about how amazing this health journey can be, this coaching journey can be, because I've talked to a lot of leaders around the country as a result of being in this program. I've talked to some amazing people, and there's some people that go into corporations and they build up the corporate, managers and leaders, and they try to create personal development in these companies. And I'll be honest with you, from the people I talk to, they'll tell you in the last 20 years, they've never seen an organization that was a greater personal development company than Optavia. So you guys have stepped into something incredible. And when we were in Phoenix this last weekend, Dr. A was there, and Dan Bell, and everybody who started this organization, David and Terry Miller. They've been coaches for like 18 years. And so we got to see their humble beginnings and where they started. And Dr. A quit an incredible practice and moved his family to a little apartment and put everything on a credit card for like 2 years to try and get this thing going. It was not easy, but he had one thing. He had intrinsic motivation that made him realize that he could create something incredible. And now we're just about 18 years into this thing. We're still in the infancy of what Optavia is and what Optavia is going to be. I believe in Dr. A and his vision, and he was standing there on stage with this lady, Helen Irwin, and she was talking about, okay, Dr. A, you're in the year 2030. What does that look like for you and for Optavia? And it was amazing to see his vision and what he thinks this thing is going to be, what he believes this thing is going to be, because he believes in 10 years from now, traditional medicine is going to be alternative medicine, and health and wellness. That's going to be a hard battle, because guess who's going to take over? The pharmaceutical company. They're not going to go down was full of meds, right? They definitely do. And so we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help further that mission. And it's going to take us awakening that intrinsic motivation inside of each and every one of us to make that happen, and keeping steadfast in our goals and in helping people and creating health in others. I got to tell you, since I started doing this, it has been the most rewarding, fulfilling, and fun thing I've ever done. And I got to go to Phoenix with a bunch of people that I've known since like 3rd grade, high school, and we're building this cathedral with people we love, and it's so much fun. And it's just something you guys cannot miss. And it's easy. The bottom line with this business is so easy to do, but guess what? It's really easy not to do. It's really easy to get caught up in our head and to listen to the stories that our heads are telling us, and Remember, you're not the things your family did. You're not the stories in your head. We're just not. And it'll tell it to us. And I've been doing this a couple of years, and I've had a lot of success with it, and it's changed my whole family dynamic. But I still have stories that run around in my head, and why I don't send out a message, or why I don't reach out to this person, because I get caught up in what they're going to think or what they're going to say. Look, the bottom line is if you do this business, you're going to get darts thrown at you. You're going to get people that are going to tell you that what you're doing is a pyramid scheme and it's a scam. But you know what? It's just not. That's not what we do. This program is amazing, and it changes, and like Sarah said, it saves lives. So what if you went all in? What if you gave this thing everything you had? What if you did way more than was expected of you? I'm telling you, the possibilities with this are endless. So I'm excited for everybody that's on this call and what you guys have got going and the opportunities that are ahead of you. So we've got about 15 minutes. We want to open it up for questions and answers. You guys can unmute yourselves. If you have a question, it could be about creating your story, sharing your story, your why, anything we talked about today, December Dash, if you got questions on that, the coach training, whatever you guys got. So we'll open it up. Cher, did you have a question? You unmuted yourself?
No, not yet. I'm sorry. I'm just still playing around with this stupid Zoom.
All good. All good.
Sorry.
Everybody quiet this morning?
Still early.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm just going to unmute myself and just
Hi,
let you know
Carolyn.
that. Hi. I'm going to see you later today, Donald and Tustin. I just got a text from my client telling me she's lost 16.4 pounds. She can't believe it. So anyway, there's the why. Woo. Anyway, one question I have is, how do you all, everyone has the busy life, and I have a busy life. And, thankfully I have a lot of people that I'm reaching out to, but I need to just learn these pockets of time to respond and make the call. And I get a little crazy about not being fully available because I have another job and other things going on. So I want to be the calm coach, not go crazy with all the details. That's one. I know it's just blocking my time. But also, I've been networking and marketing and all this. It's hard for me to people want to know, because I've been in a networking and a direct sell company before. And everyone's like, what are you selling? What are you doing? What's the product? Tell me. And I keep trying to do it the Optavia way and not say anything. I don't want to mention the cost. I try to do all that, but I feel like it's hard for me to express what it is. I don't want to make it sound like I'm hiding what I'm doing. And I hear all the good news because I had the better clarity to save not 21 pounds in 4 months and all that stuff. I want that energy to come out then. I'm trying to make this goal, so now that you've done it for a while, how can I just lock that down and feel calm about the process? Because you're right, it's very easy, but there's a lot of steps, and I feel like I'm missing a few steps. So that's my question.
Okay, so a little bit to unpack there, but so first, it goes back to what we talked about today, right? The power of your story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the product,
right?
It's about the company. It's about your story. So that's where it always has to come from, because that's always going to come from an authentic place, and it's always going to carry the most power. I've talked to people and done a health assessment and signed them up for the program, and they don't even know the name of it.
Right.
And they're signing up. They don't know what it is because it wasn't important to them what the name of the program was, and they don't really know that much about the product because it wasn't important to them. It's only 25% of our program, right? So,
okay, go ahead.
So number one, that's how we want to approach people, is with our story, our authentic story. And then when it comes to the details of it, it's really easy to do that, because all I say to them is, well, you know what? We have several different paths and programs available, and it really depends on your health goals. So I would need about 15 or 20 minutes to kind of talk to you and find out what you're looking to achieve. Then I can tell you the best plan for you. And so then we want to set up that time later, because maybe you've run into them at the grocery store, maybe you've run into them at church, maybe you've run into them wherever, and that's not the right time. You're not going to be able to do a full health assessment standing in the line at the grocery store. So is, let me get your contact information. Let's set up a time where we can hop on a call for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then the important thing about with all you've got going on is to live in structure and to have times that you're available, that you're going to block out, like you said, to do this business, whether that's in the mornings, if it's from 8 to 9 at night. But you have your schedule right here on your phone. This thing is so powerful, right? Our little phones, right? They're like these $1 million computers, right? So you've got your calendar, and if it's right on my phone. If I look at my calendar, you guys can see my calendar. It's pretty full, right? It's got a lot of stuff on it, but it's got a lot of white space. So I can see where I need to block out time. I have certain times. I know my schedule. With all I got going on, I know my schedule. So if I'm talking to somebody, I say, you know what? I actually have some time on Tuesdays between 12 and 4 in the afternoon or after 7 o'clock. What works best for you? And I set up that time and I put it on the calendar. And I dedicate that time to them. So it's about living in structure, and then, sharing your story more than the program, and you don't know the cost, right? Because we do have several different paths available. So I don't know the cost until until we talk and I know what your goals are, then I can explain how it works. Plus, we also, when we say the cost, we say, it's $414 a month, but we haven't told them anything about what that consists of, because the food is only 25% of the program. They get a free health coach. They have this amazing community that they get to be a part of. They get to be poured into by, amazing people like Dr. A and top leaders if they take advantage of the Wednesday calls. This amazing educational materials in this life book that's going to take them from their current reality to where they want to go over the next year. We're going to walk that journey and that path with them. We're going to not only get them to their goal, but we're going to help them maintain that goal and stay there. And we're going to actually allow them the opportunity to help others if they want to do that. All these things that are available for a measly $414. If it's expensive to be healthy, why don't they try getting sick? So, just again, awakening what's possible in someone. That's really, and that's what that health assessment's all about. Sharing the program is a very small part of it. Right at the end, we're going to tell them, how we're going to help them to achieve all those goals and dreams that they were talking about.
Okay, sounds good. One question. So in your finding of, for me, I feel like, I have people asking me, and then I feel like I need to tell them right away what's going on.
Yeah.
Time Tuesday, make them wait for it so it's not rushed. That's maybe that's for me, like the customer service, like wanting to get back with them right away. And I'm feeling like, I'm not getting to them fast enough. That's probably, okay.
Yeah, it's just the stories in your head. It's all good. Don't rush the process because then you cheat out of the gift that this is.
I think rushing the process creates the no, and that's what I think I'm getting. But so I'm still staying in touch with some of those people and hearing, the story. I know them, and so I think I just need to approach it, just keep dripping or talking about it or posting and various things.
Yeah, and a lot of times people want to watch. Is this just the next thing Carolyn's into? She's been in direct marketing before. And so you got to have that, you got to build that trust. You got to cultivate that trust. And sometimes you can only do that over time. So don't worry about it. Nobody's ever a no in this business. They're just a not yet. And I'll be honest with you, Carolyn, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If they're ready, they'll be ready and they'll come and they'll want what you have. That's the important thing, is to live out loud so that people want what you have. They want that attitude that you have. God, you're just so positive. How are you so positive? Oh, and you look great. They're going to want that. and they're not going to care, what it is that's going to get them there. They're going to trust you because they've watched you long enough. And when you share your story, that's why our stories are so powerful. When you share your story and you connect with them authentically, they're going to want what you have. And then you're going to show them what's possible for them through this program because you've watched it happen time and time again for so many others. They'll come on. And if they're, like I said, if they don't, it's just because they're not ready yet. And almost nobody tells us the real reason why they're not going to do the program. I'll say, oh, it's too expensive. But that's just their easy way of saying, I know I'm going to fail at this because I failed so many times in the past. So I'll just tell you it's too expensive because I don't want to try and fail.
Right. True. That's true. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're like toe dippers in a pool, right? Like there's no people who just jump in head first. They're ready to go. And not everybody's that way. I'm not that way. I'm like, put my toe in. Okay, it's cold. Tap a little bit more. And you just got to be patient while they're getting used to the water. They're just stepping in. They want to ask a question over here and then run away. Some do that. And it's okay. They're just testing the water. So just be patient. They're getting in. It just takes some people longer than others.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way like Caroline was saying. It's like people want to know the name of it first. They don't want to hear about everything else. It's like, okay, well, what's the name of it again? And I don't know. It makes you want to tell them what it is. And because I know I was talking to the caregiver for my brother, and when I was there, she was saying, what is the name of it? She says, you're losing so much weight. She says, you're looking good and everything. And I said, well, it's a program that has different ways for different people to go on it. It's not the same for everybody. And I would need to, have a few minutes to talk to you and we could see which one that you would like to have on it. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like I was jumping over my words and stuff, trying to satisfy her and appease her on what she wants right now. But I knew I shouldn't and I can't, but it makes it hard when people just want to know the name of it. And it's so they can Google it to see about it. And I said that to her too. I said, you could Google the name of it, but it's not going to tell you which one would be good for you. It would give you a price, yes, but that price could be different for everybody. It just all depends on what your needs are and everything. So she was okay with it, but I think she was still wanting it.
Yeah, but if somebody wants to know, just always say, all you have to say is, you know what? If you're not in a position to do a health assessment, which it doesn't sound like you were at that point, go, I'd love to talk to you all. When's a good time for us to connect for 15 to 20 minutes on the phone and set up a time? You don't have to go, part of it is I really want to give you my undivided attention. I really want to hear what you're looking to achieve. I want to know your goals and all that. Then I can figure out the best plan for you and we can go from there. And you decide if it's a good fit. No big deal either way. But I really want to give you my undivided attention and really be focused on you. And I obviously can't do that right now.
Right.
And if they don't want to, then they're not ready. It's okay. Remember, we're not trying to get anybody, hook anybody. We're just trying to look for people that are looking for us. That's it.
Can I add a quick thing to that?
Absolutely, Alyssa. We shared about your story today earlier.
I've been here, guys. My video just came on, but just to kind of add on to that, do you guys realize how many people all of a sudden become researchers on what they're putting into their body when you present them with an opportunity with something that can actually help them? Did they research that medication that their doctor put them on? Did they research that fast food that they just picked up? Did they research anything else that they just put it on or in their body? All of a sudden people want to become researchers with this new thing that's coming out. And, it all leads back to the health assessment. The health assessment and getting them on the phone is the most important part, and linking arms with your mentorship to have that structure for it. Link arms with your mentors because they can help you through these challenges that these clients or that these health assessments are going through, or even just getting people on the phone. Just by a show of hands really quick, how many people took longer than the first health assessment to sign up? Okay, I took 6 months. And I have clients that have come to me 3 years later. 3 years of them not responding to my messages, and all of a sudden they wanted to know, right? But they wanted to know the name first. But this is your business, and you get to run it the way you want to. And just to finish with that is that, yes, it's your business. You get to run it the way you want to, structure it the way you want to, but you know, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. And that's why I personally link arts and mentorships, and I follow the systems that are already set in place for us. So when you get those people that are saying, oh, I just want the name, I just want to know about it. Okay, well, now all of a sudden you want to do your research. So let's get on a health assessment and let's research this together, because that's what we're really about, is just linking arms together and partnering. Okay, I'll mute myself now.
Awesome, Melissa. Thank you.
So what we're saying is we really don't tell them the name before we do the health assessment, because I get that every day too.
I don't. And I mean, if they want a name, go, well, you know what? I did the 5-in-1 Fat Burn Blitz. That's what I did. That was the plan I was on. I don't know what plan would be for you, but that's what I did. Because that's what you did, right? You're not lying. You did the 5-in-1.
Right.
That's what it is. It's a 5-in-1. So, I mean, sometimes I'll tell them that if they're just like insistent, but you know, I don't think out there. But I mean, people, the best is, you know, I have OptiV all over my page. So if somebody wants to research, just research my page. You can figure it out. You're that much into research. So
yeah, I've been doing OptiV because they got a lot of stuff on YouTube, all the training and
yeah, it's okay. And Dr. A's vision, it's gonna be a household name. In the next 10 years, everybody will know what OptiV is. So it's okay. But the most important thing is, you know, the health assessment, because we connect authentically with people, and that's what we want to do. All right, well, we want to respect your time. We're at 8 o'clock. Great call. Thanks to everybody who jumped on. Super excited for everybody that's on here, because you're making this a priority. And if you make this a priority, you're going to transform not only your lives, but hundreds and thousands of others. So, all right, everybody. Thank you to my beautiful co-host, Sarah. You are awesome. Love what we get to go and do. So go out there and awaken it in other people, and let's go change some lives. And together, we're going to change the world. All right, guys.